This park is incredible. And speaking of incredible, you got to see this.
Let's go have a look. Let's give them a peek.
So we're here on main deck, and this is for most people their first look at our incredible park.
There's somebody down there.
Yeah, we've got a few people down today, despite the fact that we're closed today. So one of the things that makes this park really special is something you've probably heard before, but it's worth mentioning again, and that's that the Bay of Fundy has the highest tides in the world. Not some of the highest tides or close to the highest tides, but the highest tides in the world. Put that in perspective. The average high tide for the world is 3 feet, waist deep water. Here at the Hopewell Rocks, on our least impressive day, we have a 32-foot tide. And on our best days, 46 feet of water. So today we're kind of right in the middle. We've got a 37.5-foot tide today. It was at its highest about 20 to 10 this morning. And we're now just reaching low tide. Oh, got a great blue heron flying up above us. Yeah, that's the beauty of live stuff. These incredible tides. So I say we can have up to a 46-foot tide. That's the equivalent of a 4-story building down on our ocean floor. That's how high those tides rise. Just unbelievable. So, of course, the question is, why? What's so special about this place that gives us these massive tides? As you probably know, tides are caused by the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon. Well, that gravitational pull is no greater here than anywhere else on Earth. So what makes this really special? It's all about the shape of our bay. We actually have 2 factors. First of all, our bay is shaped like a giant funnel. So the mouth of the bay, which is 156 miles in that direction, the mouth of the bay is extremely wide and deep. By the time you get up here, it's very narrow and very shallow. So as that high tide is coming into the bay, and it's coming with a fair bit of force, the further up the bay it comes, it's compressed into a tighter and tighter spot. That water has nowhere to go, so it literally piles up in here and ends up much higher at this end than it is at the other end of the bay. That only accounts for about half our tide. The real kicker is we also have the perfect length of bay. And this is the one that really sets us apart. The time it takes from when the high tide enters the mouth of the bay, slowly comes all the way up the bay, past St. John, past the parkway, all the way past us, all the way to Moncton, bounces off the seawall, and then that tide goes all the way back out. And because of the length of the bay, the time it takes for that, as that high tide is trying to exit the bay, the next high tide is trying to come in. They collide and they amplify one another, and it pushes all that water right back in here. So it's called the Seiche effect, or the bathtub effect. Listen, I get super geeked out about all this stuff. I could go on and on forever about it. But you know, this is a beautiful look off, but it is a look off. The real experience is to walk on our ocean floor.
Yeah.
Now, normally what I would suggest at this point is we go down these beautiful stairs right here, 99 steps at the bottom, and we're done. Unfortunately, the park is not open for the season yet, so those stairs are closed. We have to take them up in the wintertime, otherwise we'd end up with the ice destroying them. So we're gonna go to our wheelchair ramp, which is just a couple minutes drive down here. So let's hop on the shuttle, and I'll get you down on that beach.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Here it awaits.
Okay. Here we go.
All right, we are up and rolling. Okay, so like I say, this is just going to be a couple-minute drive to get down there. Off on our left, you can see our low tide cafe. It's kind of mind-boggling to know that there's been some sort of food service available here in this park since 1926 in that exact same spot. Great place to grab a quick snack or a coffee when you're here at the lower site.
I'd like to have a coffee right now.
Yeah, no kidding. I was seriously choosing for a coffee myself. I hear you.
Hot chocolate.
Oh, that sounds even better. So right up ahead here, we've got the Paymount Outdoor Adventures, which is our kayaking experience here in the park. They are proud to offer the highest tidal paddling experience in the world, if you can imagine. So a lot of guests come down, they walk our beach at low tide, and then at high tide, they hop in this kayak and kayak over the same area, except for 40 feet higher now. It's easy to get lost down there because it looks so different in the different tides. All right, and we're here at the ramp. Hold on tight, we're heading down. I haven't driven this many times, so this should be interesting. So we're advancing down. This is a new stairway we put in, or our new ramp, I should say, that we put in just 2 years ago to give people a more low impact, easier way of getting our fans of stairs. We are on the beach. Now this is going to be a rocky section here. I'll try to keep it quick. And we're heading over to see Paul. You're also going to get your very first look at some of these incredible formations.
There's Paul.
Haven't lost you yet. That's good.
Yeah, one hand on the handlebars.
All right. Head for some mud. Get ready. We're going to bogger.
Oh.
Sweet. And we are here.
Hi, Paul.
Awesome. Hey, Paul.
I'm the manager of interpretive services at Hopewell Rocks. Welcome to the ocean floor, everybody. Welcome to the ocean floor. Look at this. This is the first of about 20 of sea stacks or flower pots, as they've come to be known, that we're gonna explore about 1.3 miles of beach, but we're not really gonna do that because we don't have the time. But we're gonna do a little bit of it, and we're gonna take a little stroll and show you some more things of interest and talk to you about a few things like erosion and stuff like that. So let's move along. This is the original flower pot rock right there. We're coming up to another sea stack or flower pot that is lovingly called Mother-in-Law Rock. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to pick this up or not, but you can see the protruding nose, the pouty lip, and the white hair in the back, which we didn't coin that expression. It's been people over the years that have coined it as mother-in-law. So that's Mother-in-Law Rock. It's one of the most popular ones as far as what people like to give names or anthropomorphism, it's called, as you all know, of course. Right. Okay, let's go on. We're going to go up through a little tunnel here. The rock is, it erodes quite easily, quite readily. It's called Sandstone Conglomerate. And the sandstone, there's layers of sandstone and shale, and that's quite soft and it erodes away. And the freeze-thaw cycle causes pieces to fall off. And that is one of the two big reasons why we have so much erosion. The other one is obviously the huge, massive tides that Kevin has no doubt told you about. You're probably all experts by now. So those are the two major reasons. Now we're coming into one of the many tunnels that we have here at the rocks. It's the odd sea cave, and some of them are blocked off because of how the rock is quite easily, it falls quite easily. So this shows the sculpting prowess of the tide very well here. You can see all the curves, fancy curves and everything all around us. And then we come to another rock formation here, which is called ET. You can see the face of it there. And you can see all the cracks in it. And ice gets into those from water and snow and whatnot, and freezes and thaws and freezes and expands and freezes and thaws. And again, this is what happens. That's why we have this in all these fabulous sea stacks. So we're going to continue on. I'm going to go down the lower end, Kevin, I think, because
Absolutely.
that last time was a little bit muddy and slippery.
Wait, you take these next two steps. Anybody?
Not always this muddy. In the springtime, quite often it's muddier than the rest of the year. But it causes, anytime we have very calm tides, the sediment from the erosion settles onto the beach, and it doesn't, and it just settles in through the tide, so it's gentle. On a really windy and wavy day, the waves carry the mud out and makes it a lot more palatable in terms of walking on the beach, you know. So I hope you're enjoying this, because this is we get some 300,000 people here in the course of our short season, which is about 5 months, except when, of course, COVID is around, which makes it a little less, quite a bit less than that, because the borders are closed. But we're hoping for that this soon will be over and we'll have get back to normal again. So we're coming into another area of the beach here. It's called Stair Cove, and you'll see why in a moment. We have a flair for the obvious here at the Hopewell Rocks. All the coves are called Stair Cove because, take a look. These stairs were built in 2016. They're COVID friendly because there's two separate an up and a down stairs, so that works really well. Now we're coming here to some other rock formations. This is probably the most photographed rock or formation anywhere in the Maritimes. It's called Lover's Arch. And next to it is called Bear Rock. The rock next to that we don't talk about hardly at all, ever. But I wanted to take a walk under here.
That's okay. You're good.
I want to take a walk in here underneath the arch. So as you can see, there's no water under here right now. But where I'm standing, on our highest tides, the water will be 3 times over my head. As Kevin mentioned to you already, that's up to 46 feet or 14 meters if there's any Canadians in the crowd. So it's just mind-boggling. You can see that the tide now, as I say, it's out quite a ways, and it's going to come all the way in here, and on the biggest stage, it's going to fill this right to the very, very, very top. And up and top, the stairs, it's going to go up almost base. Now we're going to take down the coast because I'm not going to go too much further because I'll allow. Down the coast here, there's all kinds of more rock formations and everything all the way down, and it's absolutely unbelievable place. The biggest thing that I cannot get over when I still to this day, and I've been here some 16 years, and it still boggles my mind the amount of water that comes into this bay. It's absolutely phenomenal. I urge everybody to come and witness it because, and you have to see it at both times. You have to see it at low tide and then come back and see it at high tide because you just won't believe it. It's absolutely phenomenal. How's our time doing, folks?
Yeah, I'm not sure, Allison, how we're doing, but I think you wanted to open the floor up to some questions.
Yeah, if there are any questions, anyone, that'll be the end of that. But if you have any questions for Paul or Kevin or Erika, they're happy to answer them. So just speak up and we'll try to. Oh, here's one question. How long is the cycle of water coming in and out?
How long is the cycle? There's
Yeah.
The tide changes. There are 2 high tides and 2 low tides every 25 hours approximately. So it's about 6 hours and 13 minutes.
And what is the best time of year to visit?
The best time of year to what?
Best time of year to visit. Oh, that's
Yeah.
so hard to call.
Anytime between May and October.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
The tides are cyclical, so you want to take sometimes the tides can be as low as 32 feet. Sometimes we don't even come to work on those days because it's so embarrassing. I mean, the average high tide that Kevin probably already told you in the world is 1 meter or 3.3 feet. So it's just amazing that So anytime you can come, but you make sure you check the tide tables.
Okay, and so can you tell us where those tide tables are posted, Paul, please?
They're posted on our website. every year. They're always posted on our website.
Perfect. And they want to know, the next one is it accessible by public transport or do you drive?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Can
Is
you
it
repeat?
accessible by public transport?
Not really. It's not. You would have to drive out or rent a car, or there's no
Hop on a
bus
tour.
traffic.
There's a tour option that could be available.
Well, the roads to sea tours, that's an option for sure. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. What else? Let's see. Hang on. How fast does the water come in? Like as you're standing there, how long would it take the water to get up to where you guys are right now?
Let's just say
Yeah.
we got to get the heck out of here quick. I'll tell you that right now.
Absolutely. So we have done some videos and stuff that you can see on our Facebook page and stuff that talk about that. But basically, when the tide's halfway in, it's rising its fastest. It can be rising as fast as 13 feet per hour straight up. Okay. We did a video where we filmed it. I stood at the water's edge with my toes touching the water, and 27 minutes later, the water was at my chin. That's how fast it rises. Just incredible speed.
Great. Are there any other questions from you guys? No?
It is fast, yeah.
Yeah. How many shoes per year get lost in the mud? That's a great question.
There are people. It can, if you want to walk, if you want to seek out the mud, and there are certain parts of the beach where you don't allow you to go in the mud because of the bird migration that comes through here in August. But yes, it happens quite often, and we have found shoes in the mud without question.
Here's another one. Has anyone ever sat on the ocean floor in a kayak and waited for the tide to come in?
Yes. Well, actually, the way that Baymount does their tours, what they do is the kayaks are all sitting on the ocean floor. They bring their guests in, seat them in the kayaks, give them a little safety explanation. And while that's being explained, the tide just gently comes up underneath. And usually by the time they're done those explanations, they can just give them a push with their hand and off they go.
Okay, there's more. Whoop. Sorry, guys. That was an accident. Okay. Oh, there's a suggestion that you sell new shoes in the gift shop.
There are actually some shoes for sale in the gift shop. Good thinking, but maybe we'll look at bringing in some more.
We've also been asked what birds migrate through.
Semi-palmated sandpipers are the biggest version, but there's a number of different types of sandpiper: least sandpiper, yellow leg sandpiper, plovers, and so on. And they start their long journey from the Arctic and get here. Probably the first ones arrive in around middle of July. Very few of them, and then they multiply until the middle to the third week of August. They peak, and there can be anywhere from 500,000 to 750,000 birds that come through the upper reaches of the Bay of Fundy.
Okay.
And we also have,
sorry,
go ahead.
Kevin, go ahead.
I was also going to say, and also we have a resident pair of peregrine falcons that have been nesting here for the last 13 years. You're hearing it first right here. She's sitting on 4 eggs at the moment. Oh, we can't wait. Oh, I'm watching it with bated breath.
Everyone is happy except the sandpipers. Pretty much. They're not overjoyed with the prospect. No.
And then one last question. What's the composition of the rocks? Are there any fossils in there?
Yeah, so the rock itself is called Hopewell Conglomerate. It is unique to this area. In the actual formations themselves, you're not going to find much of anything for fossils. It's not quite conducive to fossils. But on our far ends of the beach, we do have another type of rock, and we get a fair bit of calamites, and we also have the stromatolites. Yeah,
and I don't know anything about fossils, but I just learned this year that we have one of the biggest collections of stromatolites on the coast.
Yep.
And so we are going to be having some visits from the New Brunswick Museum and from some geologists there this year that are going to come and give some talks and give some more information about those to our visitors.
And to save you from Googling that word, stromatolites are fossilized algae that can date back as much as 800 million years. So we're talking the very first life forms on Earth that actually created our atmosphere for us.
We haven't found any T-Rex yet. It's only a matter of time, I'm sure.
Paul's the closest we have to a fossil.
And actually, it happens to be Paul's birthday today. So we'll say happy birthday to Paul.
Happy birthday, Paul.